he realized that these people were going to rush and they were going to force him to try to become some kind of earthly king. And he said, full stop on that. No, it is not why I have come. John 20 and verse 30 and 31 tells us that he was the Messiah, the Son of God. John knew who he was. He was not just a grocer. He was not just a groundskeeper. He was not just a guide or a spiritual medium. He wasn't just a teacher. He was God incarnate. He knew he was not just a miracle worker, a prophet, or a political king. And Jesus came along and he said, I know what you want to do. And no, the answer is no. You're like sheep without a shepherd. I've given you to eat. And then he slipped out through the crowd and went off by himself. He knew who he was, and he was not willing for others to redefine his mission. This is why I'm here. And I'm going to focus on that. Boy, do you know how easy? I'm sure you do. You know how easy it is for others to come in and get all excited and redefine your mission. Oh, this would be great. And wait a second. Slow down. There's a priority of caring. There's a priority of giving. There is a priority of organization. And there is a priority of identity. Why did John include this miracle? Let me conclude with this. John portrays Jesus as a God of compassion, loving the people where they are. Hey, when you start helping the needy, it can get crazy. Because the need is great. John is portraying Jesus as a God of order. Other scriptures bear this out as well. And finally, John is portraying Jesus as a God of focus, refusing to bend to whims or social pressures, but always moving to a place of redeeming our life. I don't know what you think of Jesus today, but I know that the mission of the river is to reflect some of the same priorities that he had, and I want to see that. Vicki, would you come back to the guitar for just a minute? I want us to commit some of these things to the Lord. I'm not here to browbeat you. I'm not here to condemn anybody for anything. And I'm not even here to congratulate necessarily. I'm just here to say, listen, this is what Jesus did in this story, and I got to figure this out in my life. If I am too busy to care about the kid on the side of the street, maybe I'm just too busy. If I'm just so intent on my life goals and I get a little bit put off with other things, I need to stop and just reevaluate my own heart. Jesus has some priorities here. As the Creator, He slowed down that process and He said, we have to care for these people. Let me take the little. That's enough. Thank you for giving, son. And gave back to him. But not before he organized it. I don't know what the Lord wants to do through the river. Other than this, I believe that there's going to be lives changed. I believe that there's going to be marriages that are going to be made sure. I believe that there are going to be parent and child. What's the word, dear? Reconciliation. That's the word. I believe that God wants to change some people's attitude about themselves and about each other, about their job, taking on an identity that God really intends for them. I think that's going to happen. But it requires a little organization. And it certainly requires identity. Being true, this is what God has said. This is the door that God has opened. And this is what we will do. He's a God of focus. Ultimately, I want to see people's hearts changed. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. But I also want you to live forever in unity with God. I want that for you.